Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to drawing a female head. So, what I'm planning to do with this series is do a bunch of tutorials covering various things relating to character design. So, I'm gonna start really slow, meaning start with just a head, just a female head, and then I'm gonna go to the male, and we're gonna take it from there. So it's gonna, at some point end up being a complete series that covers everything you need to know when you do a character, hopefully. So, what I'm doing right now for this particular one, which is again a female, um, I'm let's say drawing it really small because I have to do the circle for her skull shape, and I can't for the life of me do a big circle that looks like a circle. So that's the only reason why I'm doing it a really small one. It doesn't matter because later on I'll just scale it up and take it from there. So what I'm doing is really just putting down landmarks that are telling me, okay, those my eyes are there, my nose is there, and they're basically just brush strokes, and I'm just putting down the the base for what I'm gonna do later on, and now just sketching also sort of the shoulder width so that I get an idea. And for what I do for shoulders normally is twice the, the the width of the head. So we put two heads next to each other, and that's pretty much the shoulder width, um, at least on an average. Of course, obviously, things will change from drawing to another, but that's my baseline, guideline. Sorry. And now scaled it up, and what I'm doing is just refining what's already there. So I'm not adding anything. Basically, I'm just, if anything, I'm subtracting from the brush strokes that was already there. So, chipping off for the nostrils, shaping the tip of the nose, and I'm not gonna add too much right now. As you can see, it's a hint that it's a nose. I'm not drawing the bridge of it. I'm not drawing too much really. And same for the mouth. It's a line. It's a simple line, and then I erased the bottom lip a little bit so that to fake that there's a highlight there, because she's probably wearing lipstick or something. And then I'm gonna jump in and do the eyes, and since I want this to be, it's just a front view of a female head, so it's nothing crazy, but still I don't want my eyes to be two different sizes, because obviously it's gonna look ugly. So just putting down reference points so that I know, I can look at them really quickly and say, okay, those 2 points, they're at the same distance, so that should be good if I follow those. Now I have those drawn down, and you can see that what I can do with the shadow that's already there is just erase it a little bit, and especially to do the iris inside, and then bam, I have eyes in there. How easy was that? And so for this, the line that I use for the outside of the eye, what you can get away with when doing female is you don't, basically the thicker it is, the more, I guess, cute she is. It just means that she's got bigger eyelashes. So it's not exactly cuter, but you'll see that if you start to thin out that line, she starts to look more and more like a male, and just because it would seem to us like she's wearing less and less makeup. So and what's really important when doing heads, at least female heads, is that especially female heads actually, is that less is always more. So you don't wanna add too many lines, because the more you add, the more manly she starts to become, and you definitely want to avoid that. And what I did just now, I just sketched out those ears really fast, and I want to show you the side of it so that you know where where those lines inside are coming from. Given it's stylized and I have it down to maybe like 3 strokes for the ears now, at least in front view. But they're still not random strokes. Like I base it off a realistic ear, and I just keep the lines that are important. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it there so that you guys can see. And again, like this particular drawing is my style, obviously. So I'm not saying that this is the style you should use or anything, but I'm just showing you guys my process, and maybe that will help you when you do yours. Or maybe you can just take this and adapt it to your style, whatever it is. So, and because this one, you look at this, and obviously this is not a realistic portrait, and that's not at all what I'm trying to do. I don't like realistic stuff. If I'm gonna paint something, from imagination, then might as well be something that cannot exist. Otherwise, might as well just take a photo. So just get blocked out the eyebrows real quick there. Eyebrows for female, you just don't want to make it too thick, because then again it's always going back to looking more and more manly. So you want them to be fairly thin and not too noticeable. And now I'm just refining the outline of her face. And if you wanted to keep this, let's say a drawing, black and white, just line drawing, you'd probably want to go in there and refine those lines even more, so make them a little bit thinner, and and because what I want to do with this in a future video is add color to her. So I'm not too worried about the size of the lines, because I'm just gonna paint over it, anyways. But yeah, if you wanted to stop there, then maybe you want to go in there and clean that up a little bit more. But let's not worry about that. What I want to do now, that I'm fairly happy with the information that I have here, again, it's not much. It's a hint of a nose, a hint of a mouth. Eyes are really, really simple. I'm just gonna go in and maybe add a little bit more information to the eyes, probably a little bit more than I would add normally. What I mean by that is adding like the corner of the eye, and the bottom line of the eye also. Normally I would probably just stop before this step completely, because at least if I was not gonna do a portrait, let's put it that way. So if this head was gonna be smaller on the screen, then I wouldn't worry too much about that, because you're probably not gonna notice. So it's wasted time at that point. And I just flip my canvas, and that's something I would recommend you guys do all the time, because your brain easily gets used to watching something, and even when it's wrong, you get used to it, and then the second you flip it, it gets really obvious that it was wrong. So I do it all the time because I don't trust myself, and every time I'm proven right, because every time I flip it, in this case I got pretty lucky, but given it's a symmetrical face, so, and I've had reference points and all that, so it would have been pretty sad if it was completely off. But normally whenever I paint anything, I do that maybe 100 times per image, just to be sure. I mean, super quick, and just Control A, Control T for transform, and then you right click on it and flip horizontal. It takes half a second, and you can be sure that your drawing it's not all messed up. And now for what I'm doing, I'm just adding a little bit, I'm just adding hair to her, so that she actually looks a little bit more like a girl. and I wanted to do that just because it changes the outline of her head. You know, obviously hair has thickness, so the outline is going to be a little bit further out. But yeah, I'm not going anything crazy. Just, you know, hair tied back, and that's it. Let's leave it at that. And now I'm adding just, you know, just a little bit of information, especially for this one. You know, for females, you want the bridge of the nose to be a little bit thinner than males. You know, so in this case, I didn't have any information there telling me that it was actually thinner. So I just, you know, added a little bit of shadow there to emphasize that. And I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna add too much. As you can see, it's really subtle. Just a little bit of gradient to give me an idea of the volumes for when I go in and color it. But it's still, I mean, you don't really need it if you're gonna keep it at that level. I mean, that's pretty much it for this one. Just adding, you know, finishing it up a little bit, cleaning up things, cleaning up the outline of her scalp. What I do for the Sculpt Line is, in at least in my style, you know, I can do that a little bit more easily, because especially in this one, it's a front view, so you kind of see what I'm talking about. Is I kind of draw an M, you know, like a big M. As you can see there, if you squint a little bit, her Sculpt Line is, you know, kind of M shaped. And normally that gives a good enough Sculpt Line that, you know, you don't look at it and find it weird that, you know, oh, something is wrong. It looks alright. So keep it simple. And since you know, you look at this one and you look at this head, and obviously it's not, you know, it's not exactly an anime looking head. It's not a realistic head. It's kind of in between. So I kind of wanted to give you guys a range for it. So on the left, later I'm gonna do a little bit more realistic version of it, and on the right a little bit more pushed, you know, stylized anime-ish version, if you want. The only difference is basically this one is gonna be I'm gonna get rid of most information. So the more I stylize it, the more it's going to something that's more of an, you know, just outlines of things. So you don't add any, you know, any shading of any sort. For these, I mean, for this time, I'm just gonna do basically just the eyes, and this one after I'm done with the eyes, probably gonna just fix the nose a little bit so that there's even less information. So yeah, just get rid of most of it, because you look at you know, a head in an anime, and there's less information is better almost. So and this one, I'm gonna just not do much, but just, you know, scale the size of our eyes, and that's gonna be good enough for me, at least. And while you know, where she looks a little bit more closer to reality, proportion wise, still, you know, with a stylized feel to it. And personally, that would be what I would have done in the first place. I just wanted to do the middle one so that you guys can see a range of it. So actually it depends. So sometimes I'll do more of the left one, sometimes more of the middle one. I'd very rarely the one on the right, because it's too stylized, and stylized means, you know, less. It means, to me at least, that I don't have to worry about anatomy, and I always like to think of it in the back of my mind. So I think that's going to be it for this particular tutorial. So you guys, make sure you subscribe so you can see the other ones. I'm going to do the males next, and then I'm going to add colors to all of those. So hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. All right, peace out.